What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for The Oval Season 3, Episode 14. The episode was titled The Command Performance, you guys. So, before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not subscribed to the channel, you guys, I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor by stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me a favor by liking the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, sharing the video, you guys. And with that out the way, without further ado, you guys, let's discuss The Oval, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode picks up where the last one left off. You guys remember that in the last episode, Victoria went into the press briefing room and gave, I don't know if I can say award-winning performance about Jason, where she passed out. So they've gotten her back to, I think that's Donald's office that they're in, right? So she's telling Donald, like, at this point, we ain't leaving the goddamn White House, right? So he told, they got her back in there. He told two of the Secret Service to go get the White House doctor. So then, she says, how did I do? Did I do good? He says, you did real good, right? So then she tells Donald, hey, I want you to work with a crisis team, right? And I want you to make it stick. So then the back and forth banter at this point, it was kind of too much for me. She asked him where was Alan, right? And actually at this point, she got to the point where she started joking about his sexuality, right? And it was just like, why do we do this every time when it comes to Victoria and Donald? It's very reminiscent of Veronica. And that was one of the things that I hated about Veronica, was the fact that she always, girl this, girl that, girl, right? So she's talking about Alan at one point because she asked where Alan was. And, she's talking about his, Alan is not going to want to be with him. Hunter's not going to want to be with him. I'm like, Victoria, what the fuck? Tyler, why the fuck do we keep writing that into the script? Scrap it. So then we see Richard and Barry, right? So Richard is talking to Barry, and Barry just wants to know, if what he said was true, right? And Barry's like, he can't talk about it and let it go, right? So he says, can you tell me something? He says, the less you know, the better, right? He says, what about Sharon? Sharon is fine. So then while they're talking, Nancy says, Richard, she's calling for Richard, right? So she tells him to come in there. So when they go into the living room, she has the TV on. On the TV, they're talking about the situation with Jason jumping at the White House. And she says, is that true? Once again, Richard says he can't tell them anything. The less they know, basically, the better, right? So then Nancy tells him, that she talked to Priscilla. He says, so what did Priscilla say? She said that she's not taking time off and she'll do what she needs to do. He says, what the hell does that mean? Richard, I think you know what that means. Like, let's stop playing dumb, buddy. I think you know that Priscilla will do whatever. I mean, oh God. I'm just still shocked that she ain't been fired yet. But then we see, move over, you guys. Damn it, I got the hiccups. We move over. So Sam, he went to talk to Kyle, right? So Kyle is demanding to be released. Sam says, not until I talk to you, right? Kyle says that this is kidnapping, and Sam says, well, it's not really kidnapping because I have a warrant that is signed by the vice president, right? So then he asks about Donald, and he asks about Donald more than once. So then Sam says to him, you're very comfortable with him. He says, yeah, because I'm in him, right? So Sam asks him, why did you shoot Agent Max and Agent Yuma? He never answered that question. But then he went into this whole spill about the fact that there are big corporations that they didn't want Hunter to be the president, but they also want Hunter to be the president because they can use him basically to push their agendas, get things signed into law that they want, I guess, signed. I was like, huh? What? That doesn't make any sense. But okay, I'm gonna run with it, and we're gonna move on. So then we see Sharon, we see Kareem and Dale. So they make it back to the crib, right? When Dale walked in, I'm like, do y'all not see that Dale is just walking as if the man got shot. The man literally just got shot. Here's another person that recently got shot. Well, okay, it's been a month at this point, so whatever. But Dale just got shot, right? So y'all, why did Kareem okay that man to go back to work after he just got out the hospital and he's been shot? So they tell Dale to sit down, right? So then Dale gets a phone call from Donald asking is Kyle with him. Dale tells him he's not with me. He says, yes, he is with you. And he hangs up the phone, right? So then Sharon says, was that him? He says, yes. Kareem says, him who? The chief of staff, right? So they tell him, Kyle, right? So Dale went first. Dale tells him that Kyle and the chief of staff have some kind of a relationship, right? So chief of staff got jealous, had him shot, non-lethal shots, by the way. And then Sharon says, yeah, and also at the pharmacy, Kyle, he's the one that came and kidnapped me and took me to see the president, right? So Kareem was like, really? They were like, yes, that's why we didn't want to tell you, because we didn't think you would believe us, right? So then Kareem was like, well, how about we go to the police? And they were like, no, we can't go to the police. And he was like, why not? Because the police are in these people's you are talking about going to the police on the president of the United States? Good luck with that one. So then we move over to Alan and Alonzo, you guys. Now, with Alan and Alonzo, I'm looking at Alan and Alonzo, and it's just giving me very much sexual vibes. The way that they're sitting so close to each other, it's just giving me like they want to each other, right? So you guys remember they were watching the news and they saw the situation with Jason, right? And they saw Victoria get the press conference. So Alan's like, see, look at her. Do you believe me now? He doesn't. He's telling him he needs some proof, right? What kind of proof is he gonna get, right? And my thing with Alonzo is, that shouldn't be shocking to you, considering the fact that Victoria literally told you to beat Jason's ass. But okay, Alonzo, I guess, right? So Alonzo's like, when I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna get ready to go home to my girl, right? So then, Alan is asking him for that gun and Alonzo gives him the gun. So then we see Eli and Simone, right? So Eli and Simone, they are talking. So Eli is really just reeling from this press conference that Victoria gave, right? Because he's saying that people are now calling him to get a statement from him, right? And, Simone is like, well, they should be asking, why didn't they get Jason help? Which is a very valid question. She says she's going to be going to every news and press outlet that she knows to have them ask that question. If you guys knew this stuff about your son, if you guys knew that he unlived Denise, unlived Diane, and unlived whoever else you want to say he unlived, why didn't y'all get him some help? Why cover the shit up? Stupid, right? So then we move over to Lily. So Lily, she wakes up from a nightmare. This scene actually got on my last damn nerves. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. This scene got on my nerves. So Lily is freaking out, right? Because she had a nightmare, I guess, about Donald. I don't know who she had a nightmare about. But, she wants to get some air, and Bobby is telling her not to go near the window. I was like, what the fuck? And then the way she kept looking at that goddamn window, I was like, Lily, bitch, don't do it. First of all, if you're in a hotel room, most times hotel rooms windows, they don't open like an apartment or a house's window. Those windows do open, but they don't have it where you can just, if you wanted to just leap it out, you can't. But Max like, can y'all asses go to sleep? Shit, I'm trying to sleep. But they eventually went to sleep. The scene was just too much for me, right? Now, when Bobby went and gave her that goddamn water, I'm like, Bobby, really? You're going to give her a bottle of water? She said, no. I'm like, Bobby, did you forget that Kyle was just basically like dousing her in water? But okay. So we're going to pause here, you guys, and move forward. This review is not going to be long. I can tell you guys that right now. Because this episode didn't really give me much. But we'll discuss it. All right, you guys. So we see Kareem. So Kareem went down to the police station, right? And Kareem is talking to a cop. And he's telling this cop about the situation with Sharon, that his girlfriend was kidnapped. He says, when was she kidnapped? He says, the other night. Now, Kareem, did you really, when you told that story, I'm like, did you literally think it out? So you should have said, because the cop asked him, where is she now? He says she's at home, but she was kidnapped the day before, right? And he says the president did it, right? So the man is like, what kind of drugs are you on? And I was like, exactly. Any logical thinking person would be like, she was kidnapped, but she's back home now. Who was she kidnapped by, right? So then the guy, Kareem was like, well, I want to speak to the chief, the sergeant, the deputy, whoever. So he says, okay. So they go into an interrogation room, right? I'm like, Kareem, I wouldn't have done that. Me personally, I wouldn't have done it. But hey, it is what it is, right? He went in there. So then we see Donald. So Donald is over at the hospital, and we see Jason. Jason is hooked up to a ventilator, right? So Hunter, he watched the news. He saw Victoria do her spin, right? And he asked Donald, is it working? He says, actually, it is, right? So then Donald suggests that Hunter leaves, right? And Hunter's like, I'm not leaving. I'm staying here with Jason, right? So then Victoria comes in and she says, of course he's going to stay here, right? There's a bunch of nurses here, so he's not going anywhere, right? So then Hunter tells Victoria, some of the stuff that you said on that podium, it can be refuted, right? She says, okay, well then we'll just have to cook up some evidence, right? He says, by doing that could be more harmful than it is helpful. He didn't really say that, but that's what he was trying to say to her, right? So then, they all had a back and forth. I'm not going to get into it because I really didn't care about that interaction that those three had. He left, right? So she says, you might want to check in with your wife, right? Because Eli thinks that your wife is on his side for some odd reason, right? So then we see Donald. So when Donald left out, he called up Kyle. He's like, Kyle, where are you? You're supposed to answer the phone when I call you. Why the hell aren't you answering my phone? Click. So then Brick is in here, right? So Brick is like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was watching him, but he just jumped. Brick annoyed me in that scene, right? So Donald says, okay, can you find out where Agent Kyle is? And when you find out where Agent Kyle is, I want you to report back to me, because Brick was going to give him his resignation letter. He says, no, don't do that. So then Brick got a call on his phone from the cop at the police station about Kareem coming down to the police station to file the report about Hunter kidnapping Sharon, right? So Brick's mission now is to take care of Kareem as well as find Kyle, right? So then we see Max. So Max calls not Kyle. Max calls Sam up on the phone, right? You guys remember in the last episode that Max was telling Sam, hey, there's a big truck outside of the White House. Put Kyle in there. I'll come there. Da-da-da-da-da. Sam is telling him, I'm not doing that, right? Honestly, you guys, the more I think about this episode, it really didn't give me anything. And I'm really trying to stretch this out to at least make it at least 15 minutes, maybe. But I don't think I'm going to even get to 15 minutes. I was really hoping to at least get 20 minutes out of this, but I don't even think I'm going to get that. Because this episode, it just wasn't a lot to it. It looks like next week's episode might be something, but this week's episode was just a thumbs down for me, you guys. So, sorry. But, Sam tells Max he's not going to do it. So then Priscilla comes in. She's like, Sam, how did you get in the house? You know what? Never mind. He picked the locks, right? Because she says, I changed the locks, Sam. So Sam picked the locks, right? So he's like, I'm staying here. And she's like, no, you're not. Get out, Sam. So she says, I'm going to go upstairs and go to sleep. She says, you're not sleeping in our bedroom. He says, no, I'm going to sleep in the guest bedroom. And she's like, we'll see if that trainer really works. She says, I should have shot your ass when you came in the door. I was like, well, damn. Okay, Priscilla. Like, girl, you still running with this whole mad shit. But okay, I guess. All right, you guys. So I guess I will make it to 15 minutes. So then we move back over to the police station, right? So at the police station, oh God. Now this scene, granted, I get that the police are in Hunter's back pocket, right? But the policeman, the officer called Brick, right? So Brick came down, and I was thinking to myself, like, Kareem, you don't realize that is not the police chief? that is a secret service. I mean, he has the IFB in his ear, for God's sakes. He has an IFB in his ear, and he's dressed in all black. You don't get the fact that this man is not an actual goddamn cop, that he's actually Secret Service, right? And then the cop, he was in the corner like this. I'm like, so you just call somebody down to the police station to unlift someone, and you're sworn to uphold and protect the law, right? But you're okay. Okay. So then Brick takes out these black gloves and he starts putting the black gloves on, and Kareem is like, what the hell is going on? So then Brick comes over to Kareem, put his hand over his mouth. The cop walks out of the interrogation room. No. For a minute, it felt like he was gonna do. That's what it felt like he was gonna do to him, right? But then in the preview for next week's episode, it looks like I see Kareem in the backseat of a truck with something over his face. I don't know, you guys. Once again, the episode didn't give me much to talk about. It just wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. But let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on. Share the video, you guys, and until the next one, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, you guys, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.